those who are on the periphery of life, those who are oppressed, those who are discarded, those who are treated like squirrels, little dirty rags to be trampled under. Hey, when the Spirit anoints me, said Jesus, I have good news for those who feel discarded and left out, those who don't have a voice, those who need an advocate, those who need some kind of activism to relieve them from their plight. I have come to bring good news to the poor, says Jesus Christ. And what of the poor who Jesus Christ has come to bring good news to? The poor sometimes feel that their dignity is no longer there. Their worth has been taken from them. And they become lame and lackey to the ambitions of the rich and powerful. So often. But Jesus, to my mind, was saying, hey, poor people, listen, I am here. And you can talk up. I'm your advocate. It's good news. If you feel that your worth, your dignity, and the pride have been stripped from you, listen, I have something to say to you. You are somebody. If you are despised, don't just believe that because you do not have it, that you are just cast aside. Talk up and I will defend you. In other words, I have your back, poor people. I have your back. And isn't it any wonder that there's a little woman who sells somewhere at a school, who struggles to make ends meet, and yet when you talk to her, you believe that she was a PhD in communication. The kind of self-worth that she has, she cannot be pushed around. She heard the message of Jesus. Not because you don't have it, mean that people have to trample over you. Good news for poor people. Well, I don't know, but how some of us get to where we are without being involved in any kind of corruption, being involved in any kind of distasteful and disrespectful things, is just simply amazing. And one can say, like so many of our leaders worldwide who have sprung up from the dirt, as it were, it is the good news of Jesus Christ that has liberated me. But before I close, talk about this good news and the Spirit being upon. You know, the good news that Jesus brought is really bad news for some people. Good news for the poor is sometimes such bad news for those who want. This good news is not good news for the extortionist. It's not good news for the robbers. It's not good news for the haughty and the proud. It's bad news, because those who are kept down have a voice. Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Isn't it advocacy on behalf of the burdened? My sisters and brothers, as I speak to you and speak to myself, why? Can we feel the Spirit of God upon us, anointing us like the icy hot, penetrating the skin, and you feel new energy as God lifts His Spirit and His amazing power upon us to continue to advocate for the least and the lowest in our midst? This Spirit of God upon Montego Bay is transformational in the right direction. This Spirit of God controls our thoughts and our minds and our action. See us doing those things that bring glory to God. So when the Spirit moves, it is not just strange, unintelligible language, but it speaks to that deep consciousness It awakens that consciousness within us so that we are concerned. Oh, there is this burden upon me for the plight of the oppressed. There is burden upon me for the plight of those who have not. There is this heavy burden upon me. God, I need to do something. His Spirit moving upon us, transforming us, and making us into not just mere move of the Spirit upon our lives. Indeed, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, says Jesus. And I am being rubbed upon with the properties of God. So I see through the eyes of God. I feel what God feels. And maybe reach a point where we start to try to know at least some of what God knows. Let us pray. Spirit of the living God, fall afresh upon us. Grant us, O God, the ability to hear you in the way that you want us to hear. And not only to hear you, God, but to act in ways that you want us to act. Remind us, O God, daily that without your Spirit, we become tyrants and oppressors. We become people without spirit, tossed to and fro by the whims and fancies of strange desires. Lord, we give you thanks for this municipal corporation and for the actions taken on behalf of not only the haves, but those who are wounded and weary and weak. Hear our cries, O Lord, as our prayers come to you. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Savior. Amen.
Thank you. Hear me. Profound that the Spirit of God controls our mind and awakens our consciousness so that we can look at the plight of the poor, the dispossessed, and the marginalized. It says that the Spirit clears our mind so that we can reflect on the poor, because it is said the poor will always be with us. Statements. Can I have a motion for convening the meeting? Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, or let me say, councillors, officers of the St. James Municipal Corporation, representatives of agencies, media personnel, persons in the gallery, to our council meeting this 11th day of October 2018 in the year of our Lord. I'm a religious person. There are a number of issues to be dealt with, and I look forward to a brief but very productive meeting, and I want to underscore the word productive. Brief and productive. But let me remind persons in the gallery that you cannot be an active participant in this meeting. What you do have today is observer status. So I think I just need to make that quite clear. Apologies. Is there any apology?
For Trevian Manning, Director of Planning, he's attending a function at UE.
Thank you very much.
And
His Worship the Mayor is out. We are expecting him back sometime today, maybe before the end of the meeting. So this is an apology for his lateness. Can I have a confirmation for the minutes of the regular meeting? Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much. Matters arising from the minutes of the regular monthly meeting of the Municipal Corporation.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, councillors. Good morning to all agency representatives and also fellow officers and the media and gallery persons. The South Gully, H5, regarding that, I wrote to the parish manager for the National Works Agency, asking him to resuscitate the drag line that they have with regards to the cleaning of the South Gully. So I'm expecting them to act on it, and when it is resuscitated, then they would, I'm asking them in the letter, I asked them in the letter also for them to clean the cells of the South Gully. The North Gully situation is that we have been revisiting the program of the Lentman, the cleaning of the lower section of the North Gully, and by the end of this month we will come up with a new program that will solve the problem in a better way, we think. You want me to continue or pause?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right, on the road within the parish, road rehabilitation program, the Municipal Corporation during the period of the last council meeting to now. We have done a section of Lima Road under the CDF program. Under the Parochial Road Maintenance Program, Cornish Road was completed. Section of Torado Heights were done. Rehabilitation of Go Peace Road started. We hope to complete it today, Mr. Chairman, that Go Peace Road. Peter King Drive and Jones Avenue were rehabilitated, and that those two roads are in the Norwood area. Go Peace is in the Montego Hills area of the Deputy Mayor's division. Davis Close, sorry, in the Montego Bay West Division was completely rehabilitated, and it also got sidewalks in the rehabilitation. We also asphalted sections of roads within the city of Montego Bay. And if you were in traffic yesterday, it was because we were asphalting some sections of the roadway in Montego Bay. The sidewalk program continues. We did some sidewalk on the Mount Salem to Cottage roadway, and we cast some of the sidewalk about 400 feet or approximately 120 meters of sidewalk already on that road. Under the NWA, they sent me a report this morning, and I have it on my phone, so please forgive me, but I have to use the phone to do the report. They did some patching work, but under a patching program, which is the second quarter's patching program. They had 650 square meters of patching work to be done in this quarter's program. Barnet to Adelphi, Adelphi to Kent, Adelphi to Hamden, Fairfield to Point, Reading to Anchovy, Anchovy to Shackleswood, Mount Peliot to Cambridge, Bickersteth to Mount Oreb, Cambridge to Senior, Anchovy to Mount Oreb, Montego Bay City Roads, Montego Bay to Great River, and that is the second quarter's patching program that the NWA is presently doing. Under the Major Infrastructure Development Program, 4th Street 100% complete, 6th Street 100% complete, Bogue Hill 40% complete, Home Hill in Ironshore 100% complete, Felicity Roadway 100% complete, Flower Hill to Torado Heights, no more work has been done on it, 95% complete, Mount Salem to Upper King Street 98% complete, Point to Flamstead 60% complete, Rosemount to Rose Heights 100% complete, Valencia Drive 100% complete, Johnson Hill 98% complete. Under Zozo, Phase 1, Crawford Street, 92% complete, Pigot Street, 92% complete, Peddlers Lane, 85% complete. In Phase 2, that I had mentioned last month, Mount Salem Main Road, 100% complete, Pigot and Crawford Street, the other phase that we have mentioned, has not yet started. Catherine Drive, 95% complete. Barnett View Drive, 35% complete. And remember, this is according to the scope of works that was approved by Northwest constituency, 100% complete also. Central, they did Green Pond Gully, Birch Hill, that's 100% complete. That is the report I have. West Central, awaiting the program to start. And that's the report I got from the NWA. Also, the North Gully Improvement, the North Coast, Improvement Program. If you can recall, they did some temporary repairs, some temporary fix on the roadway. However, they have been looking on doing some permanent fix, which means to mill up the asphalt, to take out the base course, and to redo those layers and asphalt. They are presently reviewing that program because that's on the Elegant Corridor, and they are looking forward to get that done by the end of the financial year. Long Hill Road, they have no update on that matter at this time. I know take my seat.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent. Councillors, in relation to what the Superintendent has said, you may ask questions. Yes, Councillor True.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a question, Chairman, find out if the North Gully and the South Gully are ready for any eventuality.
Well, I should have mentioned earlier that the Cyril Gully and the Dome catch basin was cleaned by NWA. They also did some mitigation report that was reported last month on the North Gully. And I asked them if it is, in their opinion, if it can take it, and they said yes. Basically, they have cleaned it, and I looked on it, and they have. I concur that it is in a manner that can take some heavy shower of it.
So in your opinion, Superintendent, you are satisfied? In your opinion, I am giving the parish council your opinion. Are you satisfied that the gullies are ready for any eventuality? And I don't mean the front part, I mean coming up from Hilltop, Concord, all those areas already.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if you allow me.
Yes, go ahead, yes.
To the drainage report that I have reported on last month that I just received it the day of the meeting. Having reviewed this study that was done, the major issue relating to the North Gully and the South Gully is the erosion upstream. And if we do not have any major erosion upstream, the gullies are adequate to transmit the water to the sea. However, if erosion happened upstream, and if you can recall, the North Gully overflowing in November of last year wasn't necessarily due to the capacity of the gully. Because the report stated the gully's capacity is adequate. However, it is due to the fact that erosion upstream, coming down, filling up the space of the gully, having the water nowhere to go in the gully, it will then overflow its banks and cause flooding. So a short answer to your question is that the gullies are adequate. However, if erosion upstream occurs again, like what happened in November, then we may have a situation on our hands.
Superintendent Grant, I understand exactly what you're saying. I was expecting you to say, well, you have sent persons from your department to patrol the area, to patrol the gullies to see if there's any erosion, so we can...
That was done, Mr. Chair.
By
Our officers went and we looked, and we are satisfied that the traps were clean. That's what I said.
Okay.
But
okay.
you asked another question, so I was responding to that question.
Yes, Councillor Reid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Soup, I think I slightly missed where you mentioned the gully, Green Pond, and...
Well, that is in the report, and that's why I looked at you when I was doing the report.
Just
a part of the disaster mitigation program from the NWA reported that Birchill section of the gully in Green Pond was clean.
And you mentioned Green Pond also? Did
No,
you?
that's it. The Green Pond was the Birchill section of the gully was clean.
What amount of money was spent?
I didn't even give you that.
It was done through NWA, you said?
NWA, right.
All right, another question and a report you give pertaining to the road from Salem to Upper King Street. I think you're referring to the Rosemount Lake Crescent, Rosemount Crescent.
Mount Salem
to Upper King Street.
Is what you call Vernon.
The same thing. It runs from Salem and go down and take left and head up on the King Street Road. Question on the sidewalk. Is there any sidewalk going to be put in there? Because the curve, the stuff are there, which is a curve, but the hens, they are raw, and they are, sooner or later they might start to erode from that side and then mess up the good work that has been done there. So is there any, did the scope of work entail sidewalk?
I actually can't say with any certainty, but from what I picked up, there shouldn't be any sidewalk.
There wouldn't be any sidewalk. There should be, but there wouldn't be.
From the program, that's what but
okay.
I cannot speak categorically that it is so.
All right.
Superintendent, we are still in the hurricane season, and the NWA had done an estimate under the disaster mitigation program. Has that yielded any result?
That's what I reported, Mr. Chairman, that they have cleaned some areas under the disaster mitigation program. That's what I reported.
Okay. Councillor Vernon?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. There is a matter that is yet to be resolved in the North Gully, where the sewer line is concerned. I think we had this discussion at the infrastructure meeting some time ago, and the National Water Commission had promised to deal with the matter at a deadline in April, earlier this year. And April came, April passed, and nothing was done. So what I would like for the superintendent to do a follow-up on the matter so we can get the matter resolved as soon as possible, because it is very inconvenient for the residents of the community.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Superintendent, may I ask, the National Work Agency, are they holding up their end of the bargain in terms of the cleaning of the South and North Gully?
Well, Mr. Chairman, that I reported that they clean it recently. And they normally do a twice a year cleaning of both gullies and the trap base. So they cleaned it recently.
Okay, good, thank you. Councillor Thomas, I noticed that a lot of work has been done in your area under Zozo. So it means then that you must have some extra money somewhere to go on some other roads.
Good morning, Deputy Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Right? I'm wearing a pink tie today because you know this month is breast cancer month, right? This is pink.
Men are colorblind, so men are colorblind, so we'll excuse it.
What color is this? You have your glasses.
It have some pink in it.
Okay.
So what color is it?
Turn off with the red one. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'm the superintendent work. As you recognize, my division has it's a very big division. And we have some very bad roads in the division. And we started at one name, which we have done some work on earlier this year. Most of our resources are, which is the Fairfield Avenue. And we intend to continue that short, right? Superintendent and I will look at the rest of that road tomorrow. And our plan is to have Fairfield Avenue in Fairfield completed, and also to look at Westgate Boulevard and see what we can get done along Westgate Boulevard. So we'll confirm those two tomorrow and get those out of the way. Mr. Chairman, I think I am going to take an application to you from the equalization fund also. We get some additional roads within the division.
All right, let's just hold that until we get to that.
You want me to hold that?
Yes, until we get to, yes.
And Mr. Chairman, so we'll hold that until that time,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman. But we'll have a program to get some of the roads in the division up. And we will definitely need additional support to get some of the other roads completed.
The reference you made to Fairfield Road, I think you would want to include the road that leads to Meadows of Irving. I'm asking you. No, because I can tell you why. I can tell you why, Councillor. I was in the bank 2 days ago, and persons came to me to find out why is the road in that deplorable condition. I told them to call the councillor. So that is the reason. Now we are at R55, request for funds from the equalization.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, under the equalization fund R55, the first section that deals with the Freeport Fire Station, it has been completed, so we would ask that that section be removed. The second section that deals with the Camp Road allocation, we're still at 60% due to the fact that we are having some social issues up there, and we are working on it to see how best we can resolve that problem. And also we're having a lot of rainfall in that area, so the works that we need to do will have to be done when the majority of the work that is remaining is really a dry weather situation. So we're asking that we take note of this. There's a social problem there.
Yes.
And we're working on it also. The other section regarding the education grant, the, take it off. It can now be removed, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Councillor Thomas, you may now make your request. Yes. Under the equalization, you were saying something previously.
Mr. Chairman, I requested the estimate from the department, which I have not received as yet, Mr. Chairman. But Mr. No, you have to put the notice on it, Mr. Chairman. So I can call him downstairs for you, Mr. Chairman. Alright.
Yeah.
Do I have to have
You want to take a point, take the point of order, right? Yes, okay.
I'm surprised at the council, and he has been here for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And he has seen all the process. Follow the protocol now.
Okay.
And get the thing done in the how we live. I saw somebody saying that you act out certain things. But you want it on the mic. Don't do it inside here, man.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. S131, solid waste activities in St. James. Yes, you may go ahead, Madam.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, councillors. Sweeping and collection were done daily in the main thoroughfares within town centres and village squares. During the period, an average of 16 units worked within the parish. Of the 200 solid waste containers for the White House community in order to assist with the reduction of illicit dumping and keeping the area looking beautiful. We continue to engage community members via daily updates to CDC and other community groups, daily Facebook updates on collection, community meetings, daily phone calls to community members, and planned enforcement operations within the Western Regional Health Authority and the municipal officers. 12 loads of bulky waste were removed from Paradise Norwood, White House, Barracks Road, Vernon's Drive, Water Lane, and Mount Salem during the period. We continue to face challenges. The agency continues to be faced with a series of challenges which hamper effective operations. Buses parked illegally between courts and Trinity Mall hamper sweeping and collection. Persons rummaging through the solid waste littering the streets. Poor solid waste disposal practices of pedestrians. Persons are refraining from using the bins that are provided. Illegal dumping in communities and vending on St. James Street. Operation at the disposal site is ongoing. The work being done entails pushing and spreading of soil and marl in order to speed up decomposition, reduce stench, and any possibility of fire caused by arsonists. We are also closely monitoring the leach-shaped ponds to ensure that there is no overflow. We have upcoming activities, a school education program on proper solid waste disposal, the commercial symposium on waste management in the Market Circle and Cambridge, demolition of concrete receptacles on the Elegant Corridor. WPM aims to improve the services provided to the residents of St. James and Western Jamaica by extension. This is done via sensitization and enforcement initiatives, coupled with strategic planning to include the night collection. For reference is made to the letter dated July 6, 2018, requesting an update where notices were served on derelict vehicles by the St. James Municipal Corporation from January through to July 2018. The list of vehicles that were removed in flankers. There was a burnt out Corolla near the school, also a gray Corolla. But quite a number of vehicles were removed in flankers. Catherine Hall, we have 3 vehicles that were moved. Norwood, the tagged vehicles were removed from Norwood, and all vehicles in West Green except the truck. Additionally, our crane removed other vehicles tagged by the WPM enforcement team within the parish during the same period, January through to July 2018. Lilliput to Greenwood, we removed 16 vehicles. Paradise Norwood 18. 26 from Albion to King Street. 28 from Tucker Main to Springfield. 33 from Jarrett Park, Tate Street and Thompson Street. 14 from Queen Street and East Street. 22 from Flankers. 25 from Railway Lane, Barnett Lane and Lightbody Avenue. 19 from the Slaughterhouse to River Bay Road. 26 out of Catherine Hall and West Green. 14 from Granville. 13 out of Jarrett Terrace. 25 out of Catherine Mount and Circle and Crescent. 7 from Miriam Way. 16 from Mount Salem and 25 from Norwood communities. We will continue to do our utmost in removing the other vehicles on the list provided by the corporation, as well as all others we have identified.
Heard the report from Solid Waste. You may ask your questions. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Again.
Recent reports in the media were saying that Jamaica Environmental Protection has placed a garbage collecting skip in the ocean, in the maritime basin. Can you just shed any light on it as to where the whatever cart will be dumped? Is it disposed of in the Riverton, in the retirement dump, or shed some light on it?
At the moment, I'm not able to provide any information regarding, but I'll forward the information to our regional operations manager, who will get back to you in the quickest time possible.
Councillors, do you have any other question?
These vehicles that you report that happened to, can you say where they have been placed?
They were placed at the dump.
So you are saying at the retirement landfill there are over 200 derelict vehicles were taken up and placed there between January and July of last year. That's what you're saying?
Between January and July 2018.
So if somebody were to check there like today, you would have 200 and odd derelict vehicles.
That's where they were placed, yes.
Okay. Is there any reason why they, in Catherine Hall, the Nissan car and the truck were not removed?
I'm not sure as to why those were not removed. I'd have to get the accurate information as to why.
Councillor Chu, you wish to say something? Oh. Let me ask, Madam, is the crane working?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just want you to make note that we do have a derelict vehicle in Montego Hills, 6th Avenue. And I would like the crane to pick that up as quickly as possible. Yes, Councillor McGann.
All right, again, Chairman. Recently there was a demonstration against police operation in Chelsea Irwin, and vehicles that were used in this demonstration, derelict vehicles and other stuff. After 3 weeks, we are recognizing that these vehicles are still within the derelict are still within the confines of the roadway. One of the situations that we have is that the prevention of such occurrences, we would have think that forward thinking that would have moved these by now, since they were used in an illegal manner.
Yes, Councillor, I heard you. Did you make a report to the municipal police?
If I had made a report?
Yes.
I don't need to make a report. I don't think I need to make a report of that, Mr. Davis. I mean,
Yeah.
vehicles were used in an illegal manner to block the roadway illegally. So there was no, so we would have thought that in the general cleanup, which happened after the demonstration, that these items would have been removed, including vehicles and other things used.
Okay, so, a report was made then to solid waste? If you don't make the report, Councillor McGann, there won't be any follow-up. So, Madam, please make note of that. Okay, thank you. Report. We are on page 1746. Report of the police. Is there any representative from the police? There is none. Yes.
I'm sorry that the police is not here because I really want to find out something. This morning, I was at another place, and I saw a young lady who is an entrepreneur. She's from Norwood. I don't know her the first I saw her, but she was in a place, it's not a secret, because whatever I said there is public. And you know what she was charged for while she was standing in the dock, almost in tears? She was there because she was alleged to be in breach of the opening hours under the state of emergency. And she was also charged for giving some wrong information to the police in respect to her name. And she said that she gave the name of the other owner. So it's apparently two people who own it, but she was the person who they saw there, and they asked her name and she gave them the other person's name. So she was charged for that too, two charges. Well, I suppose, fortunately or unfortunately, fortunately for her, in respect to the opening hours, they had to withdraw that one because the gazette was not printed at the time that stated the hours. It wasn't printed at the time she was charged. So they withdrew that one. But what it shows is that the enforcement of the regulations of the state of emergency is an activity being done by the Jamaica Constabulary and the Jamaica Defense Force. Nothing wrong with that. The issue that I have is that there is one that seems to be untouchable, and I would want for the police to tell us why it is untouchable. Because I saw a video presentation of a particular location in the division of Council. Is there a division Council, Thomas? Suspect it is his division. It's in the Mount Salem area. Right outside right outside of the Cornwall Regional Hospital, and a stone's throw away from the Mount Salem police station. And I saw a video presentation where that location was open, and when the video showed the clock, it was way beyond the closing time for that type of a facility. I think it may have been midnight. Could have been midnight. And then the video continued and went up the road, and there was a police unit up the road doing whatever they are supposed to do under the SOE. So why is it that you would pass one place, you go around all over St. James, because this lady was charged in Norwood. I know a lady who was charged in Flankers for operating. Well, the charger said she was operating. She said she wasn't operating, she was just closing up and cleaning out, because when they close, they have to clean up the place to ensure that public health don't come and stress them. But the person was charged. But why is this one place so untouchable? And it cannot be that because persons are looking on, to say, if you're up the road and you have to close, that person then has an unfair advantage supported by the constabulary. So I don't know if this person is connected to the JCF or the JDF. I don't know if this person is connected to anybody in the political directorate. I don't know. But I think that the divisional commanders need to give us some information on that. They get commended for doing everything else. They get commended because the murder rate council troop is below 100. Try as some people may want to push it up. Because some people trying to push it up. Yeah. But try as they may, it's not going to reach to 100. And I think we're going to knock on wood for that. I said that try as they may, because some people have a desire to want to see it above 100. But we'll talk about that next week in another place too.
Thank you.
I just need to
Yes.
get
Yes.
something. So if we could formally write to the
The
High
relevant
Command and ask
authority.
if these regulations are being applied
Yeah.
across the board. And if there is some special exemption, so that we understand and everybody understands. Because probably they got a special exemption. But when Sumfest was getting an exemption, they had to have it formalized in a particular way. And I saw that gazette in relation to Sumfest, the Sumfest period. I don't want to say it was Sumfest alone that was exempted, because it was exempted along St. James's Street and Barnett Street and so forth. So the persons who fell within that zone would have also benefited from the exemption, but the exemption is up. But the exemption never reached to Mount Salem. and to that particular location. So the question is why. And if we could formally communicate and inquire as to how this exists for this particular person, but it doesn't exist for everybody else. So that everybody knows what is what, and that the playing field is level for everyone.
Thank you, Councillor. This has been a troubling situation. Madam Acting CEO, I would advise that a letter be written to the High Command to state what is happening at this particular place, stating that there has been a breach of the regulations, and let us know exactly what the position is. Parish, yes?
Mr. Chairman, sometime last year, the councillors and the quote-unquote police high command sit down and have a discussion. Since the state of emergency, I have repeatedly asked in this very meeting that councillors are an integral stakeholder in St. James, and at some point in time it would be very good for councillors and the head of the state of emergency, and also if possible can sit down and have a meeting, because we need all hands on deck and all stakeholders that are within this parish to be on the same page and to ensure that the rate of murder don't reach the 100 that Councillor Sinclair speaks about. And to this day, Mr. Chairman, that meeting has not been convened, and I'm once again requesting that this corporation and the state of emergency acknowledge that the councillors is a very important stakeholder in this parish, and would like to have a meeting with the police high command regarding the parish, a proper update, and where we are going, what are the plans, and how we can ensure we maintain the status quo as it is and get murder rate down and the citizens comfortable as we go forward.
Yes, I concur with you, Councillor. I think that sit down with the police high command, the JDF, that is necessary. So, Madam Acting CEO, could you kindly address that matter? Report of the Parish Development Committee.
Good morning, Chairman, councillors, media, and other members of the Parish Council. Just to give you a brief report on the Parish Development Committee, I have an update for the Mount Salem report that I gave. I'm just waiting for the IT to show the slides. It actually gives you a pictorial of the work that has been done under the zone of special operation. Right, so until he comes, oh, here it is. All right, just to give you some additional information, the drains and the walls, the erection continues, and the water supply, most of it has been put in. Over 113 persons have received meters to date at a cost of $4,000 per person. And the NWC has allowed up to 3 meters within one household, because you have, you know, different generation of families living there. There are a total of 9 households that is outstanding to be metered. And in terms of the JPS, poles are in, and so that should be on soon, and also flow for those who were inquiring about having proper internet access. there are a few persons who were not part of the ZOZO that have come on board from information I've received, which is good news. Those who had illegal connections where they have actually put other persons, they have the electricity and they have extended it to other persons. They have been sorting out regularization as well. So JPS is accommodating that process. Those are the pictures in terms of the different, you have the different lanes that are indicated: Coffee Lane, Piggott Street, Clark Street. Can you move the slides, please? It's not working. Okay. And that one is on Coffee Lane. Basically, the walls, all the requirement is that all the walls have a decorative block at the top. So it is low, it's supposed to be low enough that allows them to give privacy, but allows the security forces to be able to see what is happening. So there's a standard that is set. So when you go up there, you'll see all of them with the decorative wall at the top, decorative blocks at the top. So those are the different streets. We have received complaints about rats being in the area, that since the zinc fence has come down, the place has been infested with rats. So we're asking the health department if you could set some traps there to assist the citizens in that area. No, well, the complaints that I've received is that they have seen an increase in rats, because traps were there before, as I've actually gone up there and seen traps myself, but they seem to be seen more now than normal. So, and the work on the gully is continuing in terms of the, fixing what needs to be fixed there. So once all the work is completed, then they would do the proper resurfacing of the areas that have been, dug up, and so they should be okay. The final stage would be the title. Person's been issued with title based on the meeting we had with Jessif at the time in February and Mr. Carjarat. That would be the last process after all the other things have been put in place. So that would be the final phase to be completed. Right, just to say that we've been to stakeholders meeting. I attended one at the at Hyatt Ziva, where TPDCO actually is doing some markers for the different parishes, because they did a survey, and I think it was about 50% of the parishes didn't have markers. That is a welcome to St. James or welcome to St. Anne. So that this is something they're working on to start in January. It should be a 3-month project where they would be putting up markers. Like for St. James, one would be, in the area of just beyond Greenwood, where the border between Trelawney and St. James starts, and one, the border of Hanover. So they were they were basically trying to get feedback as to what tree they would use. Suggestion was made for the palm. Some persons didn't think using palms would be good, because the ones on the elegant corridors are not being properly maintained already. So that discussion is continuing to be finalized before they go forward with the project in January. In March, I had reported that I attended a meeting with the Ministry of Agriculture at Ibero Star, where they were looking at how the agricultural sector could benefit more from the tourism sector in terms of local produce, goods and services. So as a follow-up, the minister had said that they would put in place a linkages network for the farmers, and that actually has come to reality. So the meeting last month, yes, so he did live up to what he had promised. So the meeting last month was we had persons from the tourism sector, different areas of the tourism sector, that came and they did a workshop with us in terms of showing us how you get on the system. And what they would do now for the farmers, they need to sign up. So the farmers need to sign up, so they would be on the database, and then the hotels would be able to go on the database and see what products are available and in the quantities, so they can order. Sagicor Bank is a bank that is working on a B2B system. It's an online payment system, because in the hotel industry, it's millions of dollars that is involved in this transaction. So they're working on a card similar to a credit card that the hotel can put X amount of money on it and allow the chef, who is usually the person who does the buying in most hotels, to be able to purchase and make payments. It is hoped that the farmers won't have to wait this long 2-3 months for payment, as happened with now in some of the hotels where they have to wait a long time to get their payments. So all of this is being organized between the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Tourism, to allow for more local products to be sold in the hotel, to be sold by the farmers to the hotels, and also for the farmers to get a good price for the product. And the system is called Alex, and more information is available at www.tourismlinkages.net, that you can go there to log in and see what is happening there. They're actually expanding it in several areas. When everything is finished, there's also going to be a network for other industries, such as textile, furniture, chemical, minerals, printing, packaging as well. So the linkages it's not just for farmers now, but the linkage will continue for other industries to make sure more of Jamaican products are being used within the hotel sector. Right. I attended a meeting that was called by the Minister of Justice on Saturday. Why? Because of out of the incident that happened at Rio, most of us would have heard about it. It's very unfortunate. And that was one of the main discussion. Also, there are changes within the justice system that we needed to be briefed on. The NID system as one of them that that the Justice of the Peace needed training on to know, to get more detail on the system, what it is about, and how they go about it, to allay fears and misrepresentation. We also look at the new face of justice, where how the changes are happening within the Ministry of Justice itself. So it was very informative, and it did clear up a lot of things that were said that were not, were not clear to Justice of the Peace. They were also warned about, signing for persons that they don't know, because the law is going to be amended again. That will give the custodians a little more power to actually rescind the seal from Justice of the Peace who do these things that are not professional. There are cases that were cited that had, some problems there. In terms of the Justice Center, there is one that's opened in Falmouth, and the center manager for Montego Bay is the one that's there now, Mrs. Stacey Ann Thomas. We had a meeting there where we reviewed some of the cases that came from the court, because the court is now offloading, well, they have been doing, but even more so now, some of the more domestic family feud cases. So over last September, the September just passed, we had 17 new cases that were received from the courts, completed 13 conferences. The conference is basically like when you bring the people in and they have the witnesses similar to the court, but in a less formal situation. And 11 agreements out of this, those were completed. The ones that are not, that no agreement is arrived at, usually goes back to the court for them to make a final decision there. So the service there is actually expanding in terms of what is now being offered. And the PDC, of course, attend monthly meetings here for the disaster committees, civic committee, and the planning committee as well. Right, and more information is available in the report, so if, that's where I'll stop if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dove. Yes, a quick question. Tell me about the 3 meters for a household. Could you explain the 3 meters? You mentioned something about 3 meters for a household.
Oh, the water. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right, it's 3 persons per household. Because on Comfort Land, there's a lot of houses. Well, actually, it's supposed to be 95 household, but because of over the past year, it has expanded to having more persons there. So one household may have 3 different sets of family. The grandparents, or you might, and the children, or you might have this set of children, son and daughter, who want their own meter. So based on the fact that they went to, and they had a discussion with the NWC, they have decided they will put 3 meters in one household. So for instance, if the mother wants her own meter, she can have it. The daughter can have for herself and her family, and the son can have. Yes, so that's the arrangement. And well, they have gotten a very good response from the feedback I've heard. They were even surprised and said it's the first capture land that they are dealing with situation that they have gotten such a great response in terms of persons coming up to sign up for water.
Finish.
Yes.
You're finished, Dr. Dove?
Yes.
Okay. Another question to Dr. Dove?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the PDC representative if you have specific areas regarding the rat infestation, or it is throughout the all of Mount Salem, and where did you collect this data or this information from?
Well, I don't have a specific street or lane. That information I can get and pass on to you. But the report that I got, because we do have persons that we ask questions from up there that give me this information. And they're asking for the health, if I could speak with someone from the health department to do something about it.
All right, Mr. Chairman, well, we appreciate the PDC's report sometime. I was just imploring you, Dr. Dove, to validate the information when you present them. And I heard your explanation regarding the NWC given to grandmother and daughter, but we know it has to be of a specific configuration. Mr. Councillors, we are happy for the zinc fence in Mount Salem, as you have seen from the photographs, right? However, remember, you know, it's available to you. Yes.
And the sidewalk.
And it is available to you all. You just need to apply to JSIF, because zinc fence program or zinc fence.
The zinc fencing which is speaking of, Council, is it whether you're anything that taking place? No.
Mr. Chairman, can I be protected?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Just a minute. Can I say something?
Right. So, Mr. Chairman, that is all good. But regarding the rat, I don't think we have a major rat infestation. We had a rodent control program that went through there. I met with Mr. Wallace from the health department. This corporation had promised him some additional funding to do a phase 2, which we have requested throughout Mount Salem to ensure that we totally eradicate all rodents, which mainly are around the areas of where we have the dump sites.
Councillor Thomas, you have a problem with the report that Dr. Dove is giving? And could you state what section of the report? So they have been clarified?
Mr. Chairman. Oh. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor.
You know, Mr. Chairman, I sat down and I listened to Dr. Dove. And every time Dr. Dove comes, and I've been here for some time with a PDC chair, and I think Dr. Dove has given a comprehensive report.